All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to the Target Center here in Minneapolis for this, the boys basketball state class 4A quarterfinals. It's going to be the Duluth East Greyhounds, 20-8, taking on the number 4 seed with the 27-2 record, the Osseo Orioles. On paper, this size difference could play a factor down the stretch. But as you know, Duluth East here has a couple of pretty good guards, including Johnny Woodard, who can carry a team. John Sands here along with the ride for Duluth East. Some key players once again, like we said, it's Taylor Stafford and Johnny Woodard. Both of those averaging over 23 points a game to match up with the Osseo Orioles. The big guy for them is Ian Tyson and Bridgeport Tussler, both of those guys averaging 14 points a game as well. So you look size-wise, your advantage goes to the Osseo Orioles, with Ian Tyson being able to take advantage down low with the suspension of the 7'1" center for Duluth East. But other than that, bring you in here a little bit. Larry, just a little bit on the history of Duluth East and the history of them up there.
Well, we should first let everybody know who I am. I'm Larry Lodnell, and I am a Duluth Central graduate, and I've helped out with the girls broadcast. I'm kind of new to broadcasting the boys games, but I am from Duluth, so I'm going to give you a little some background, some history of Duluth basketball. Even though I am Central, I'm here supporting East as well. But I mean, back to the what you said earlier, though. The East does have 2 quality guards. They did lose their 7-footer, and as we saw in the earlier contest with Hopkins and Woodbury, maybe the rankings aren't going to matter as much, because these are 2 closely ranked teams in the final Minnesota state rankings. And I think East, knowing they lost that 7-footer, they're going to just come out and they're going to play hard, and they're going to give Osseo a battle. And I don't think this is going to be the blowaway that everybody expects, but we'll wait and see what happens.
With that, you got to look here. Obviously, guard play is going to be key, and it is key to every team. And the one big thing that you look at, Johnny Woodard is usually, from what we saw last year in the state tournament, is both of these teams did make the tournament last year. He was a point guard, but yet he was still able to put up over 20 points a game. That's not too common from your average everyday point guard.
No, he averages 23 a game, and also and Taylor Stafford as well averages 23 points a game for Duluth East. So again, East does have some firepower. They lost their big man, so we'll have to see how they can make up for that difference.
Osseo last year, 3rd place in the state boys basketball tournament. They did have to end up playing Eden Prairie in the semis. They got beat, but they did beat Maple Grove in the first round in Duluth East last year with some weather issues, and that's really didn't have a fan base here last year due to that, and they got exited out in the first round by Cretin Durham Hall in last year's state tournament.
Did they run into some snow last year? I don't remember. It does seem to me, though, that historically speaking, that during state tournament time there should be a snowstorm or a weather incident of some sort. Taking a little walk down memory lane, as a grade schooler, I came down to watch Duluth Central play at Williams Arena over at the U of M campus. And after they won their championship, we rode back in a snowstorm.
And, with me, I remember, they did a deal asking people their best tournament memories. And my 2 involved the 2004 state boys basketball tournament with Chaska being here, watching that game, getting a chance to step out onto that floor as a sophomore and winning a state championship. And then the other memory, and the memory that's always going to be with me, even though I had no connection to the team, was last year watching Zach Gabbard get introduced to the crowd and watching him walk out onto the floor with the Perham Yellow Jackets after all that happened with him last year. And there you can hear the Osseo students off to our left. To the right will be the Duluth East students. and benches. Osseo orange uniforms with the black numbering and lettering, the white outline on that, and the white trim on their uniforms. Duluth East going to go on the opposite side of your screen, right to left, with the white uniforms with red and gray on the numbering and on the outline. And it's tip-off time, and we're ready to go here from the boys basketball state tournament at Target Center. If the early game is any indication of how this tournament should turn out, we have an exciting game as Tyson wins the faceoff, gets it to Tussler. I just call it a faceoff. Jump ball, I'm still in hockey mode. Now here's number 23, that's DJ Ebert. Ebert works around to Tussler. Tussler now looking around for Tyson. He's at the extended free throw line, now gets it out to Ebert. Jump shot, no good. Rebound comes out to Stafford. Stafford gonna take it up now. Three-pointer on the way, we're gonna call it 2 on the way, no good. Rebound comes out here to number 20, that is Michael Brush.
Now, I've only seen East play a couple of times now in the last couple of years. They are not going to be afraid to shoot. Stafford came down and did not even look to pass.
Tyson, no good out here. Control, foul down to Tussler. Tussler has it, looking to drive, takes off, loses it, and comes back out though, right to number 20 of the Osseo Orioles. That is going to be Brush. Brush works it around to Ebert. Ebert takes that baseline up and in.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to handle that if they keep going with switching that defense.
Here comes Stafford up now, looking to get a response right back. Now number 12, that is going to be Shaq Coleman. Now with it to Stafford. Stafford has it now, looking around. There's 24, that is going to be Johnny Woodard. Now to 34, that's Lochner. A shot off the rebound, backside, no good. He's caught on the baseline now, and we get a timeout called by.
I think we have a 3-second call.
Oh, we have a 3-second call. He was pointing towards the Osseo bench. Not sure how you could call a timeout on this. They call it a jump ball. So Ian Tyson going to be the inbounder. He's looking to get it into Tussler.
East putting on some pressure.
Man-to-man pressure for Duluth East. There's Bridgeport, Tussler. Struggling here a little early on, controlling the ball. Tussler working it around to Ebert. Ebert out now, down low, Tyson way up and in uncontested. Now coming up with it is Stafford. Running the point, calling the plays. 4-0 Osseo right now. Now with it out here is 12, that's Coleman. Couple of Colemans on the Duluth East roster here. Here's 12, that is Shaq Coleman again. Now to Stafford, to Woodard. There's a two-pointer swish right through.
I've seen Johnny Woodard play, and I've seen him light him up like that. He gets going, he'd be good for 35 points.
Here's Bridgeport, Tussler. Open three for Osseo, no good. Woodard comes away with it now in transition. Here comes Duluth East. The last possession Duluth East had, they did a really good job ball movement and getting Osseo out of position. There's a three, no good. Rebound backside though. There's another three, Stafford got it!
Well, the outside shooting for Duluth East can hold up. They actually are showing they have some inside game. They're not afraid to play with Osseo here.
Here's Tussler. Now gets it around. Now working it back to Tussler as the Orioles. There's a long NBA three. No good off the side of the boards, and Stafford controlling. And you gotta be impressed though. Out of their first three possessions, on two of them, Duluth East has really done a good job controlling the ball and trying to get Osseo out of position. That first one that they had though, it looked like they might have been forcing just a little bit.
Well, like I said, I've seen them play some, and they are going to fly. They score a lot of points. They don't, they're playing defense out there, but they're not going to play the toughest defense. They'd probably be more than happy to just keep trading baskets with you, try to outscore you.
And here's the first free throw, got it. And another thing, both of these, Osseo's girls, we watched them last here in the girls tournament. They finished second. And Duluth East girls also made it to the state tournament this year. Both free throws good there, and it's a 7-4 Duluth East lead now as Tussler takes it up.
Yeah, East broke 100 points at 4 different games, and they lost one game 100-99, so they still need some good points on the board.
Well, Tussler has it. Speaking of that 100-point mark, I remember a game not too long ago, it seems. Melrose, Lakeview Christian, 114. I believe that ended up being like 114 to 112 or 114 to 110. Up and in. As Tussler gets another basket, or gets the basket this time. So
Osseo just completely dominated under the boards that time.
And you got to wonder, down the stretch, if not having their 7-1 center is going to wear on Duluth East, but with Osseo's inability right now to shoot a three, that really hasn't came into effect. Work it, good ball movement here again. There's Stafford with it. Stafford looking it around, trying to find someone to pass to. He finds Woodard. Woodard guarded by Tussler in his face, and that just missed. Tyson gets another rebound. Now Tussler gets it up, taking it up over the timeline to Brush. So Brush now looking it around, finds DJ. It went back to Brush. Tyson with the rebound. No, gets another rebound. This time it's knocked away, and Woodard comes away, and here comes Stafford with it, looking around. He gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. And another difference between these two teams I've seen in the early part of this game anyways is the fact that Duluth East has been able to transition very, very well.
Yeah, Duluth East does. I mean, they're moving the ball well. They're running the floor quite nicely.
First one off the mark, though.
They obviously came here to play some basketball.
Play one.
And obviously in the state tournament, here's the second one. And he got, so to finish that point is, it's kind of a unique situation where it's not true double elimination, because if you lose your first game, you're done. You have to get to the semis in order to play another day.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to discuss the structure of the state tournament. I'm a little old school, and I kind of like the old setup where the teams come here and play and camp out for the weekend, and they get their 3 games in.
And you know, there's a shot up and in by Brush. And we're tied at 8 now. And suddenly, it's shaping up to be much like the first game we had with Hopkins and East,
and Woodbury.
And Woodbury. Not too many people in the building, other than maybe some Woodbury fans, saw that game coming the way it did.
Well, I know I walked into the game kind of late and getting here ready for this game, and I was a little surprised to see the score so even. Then when they pushed them into overtime, it was actually kind of a pleasant surprise, and then Hopkins pretty much took over.
And now into the game for Osseo is number 11, Benjamin Suba. Tyson now working around to Brush. Brush down low to 30, that is Will Johnson. Haven't said his name much yet. He also has takeover capabilities as well. Those Will Johnson, he's going to the line for 2. Lochner called for the foul.
Sit there. 2.
First one, no good.
1. Play 1.
Second one, no good. Woodard gets the rebound. Woodard gonna look now to Stafford. Stafford gets it up and over to that Timberwolves logo line there. That's center court. Woodard working it around to 12. That is Jack Coleman. Working it around back to Woodard. Woodard now looking. He has the ability to put it up from anywhere. There's a shot. Short. Rebound comes out though. Momentarily controlled by East. Woodard skies and gets it. There's Stafford. A little drive up, no good. Tyson comes down with the rebound, and in transition comes Osseo with Samara. And off of number 23, that's DJ Everett's hand.
Nice quick play by Shaq Coleman.
Good recognition there. And also good recognition seeing the fact that he was caught sideline and had nowhere else to go. Here comes Stafford up and over. Working it around now. Woodard back to Stafford. Oh, nice pass down low. Blocked. Low set away. Comes back out there. Stafford, long three. Got it again.
That's the second free of the day.
Stafford with 7. Shot no good. Comes back around now. Does it to the Osseo with number 11, Saban. Saban takes off, loses it out of bounds. No, they're going to say last touch by Duluth East. And the other Coleman back and now into the game for Duluth East. Working it around now, Osseo has the ball. Number 22, that's Brian DeChava. Drive block! Partially blocked by Woodard. Here's Stafford 2 on one if they hurry. Stafford loses it, but last touch by Osseo as he was getting the ball stolen away.
Well, you have to be impressed with Johnny Woodard's athletic abilities. He got up high above the rim and just slammed that ball into the backboard.
That's the one thing that we've known watching Woodard play here the state tournament the past year. His jumping ability is out of the gym. He can jump out of just about anywhere you put him. And you're gonna go 5-second violation on Duluth East, so a turnover.
That's a rough one.
Bridgeport Tussler checking back in. Tussler using his body to be able to get the inbound. Tussler running the point, wearing jersey number 50. Not too often do you see a 50 as a point guard. Driving baseline, no good. Rebound comes out to number 12. That is Shaq Coleman. Woodard. Nice pass. There's Quinton Coleman up and in. 13-8, Duluth East.
Very nice give and go.
And that's the one thing though that so far in this game I've really seen Duluth East do is that ball movement, get Osseo out of position and be able to capitalize on those mistakes. Here comes Tussler. He can shoot it. There's nice pass down low, stolen away though by Stafford, but given right back, layup no good. Trying to get it down low again. This time up and in by number 32 by Tyler Stromback. Now lurking it around, there's Coleman. That's Quinton Coleman now to Stafford. Stafford works it around to 12, that's Shaq Coleman. Shaq Coleman looking around trying to find someone, finds Quinton. Now to 34, that's Lochner to Stafford. To Lochner, back to Stafford. Tussler on him. And nothing there is a partial block, kick out now. Shaq Coleman with it, looking it around now, trying to find someone, finds Woodard. There's Woodard, no good. Lochner, rebound, got it, put back good. The Osseo coaches wanted an elbow call on Woodard.
Yeah, a lot of action underneath. Actually, I think there's a lot of good no calls by the refs so far today.
Tussler's shot no good. Tussler going baseline, blocked again by Woodard. Coleman, blocked, rebound out to Shaq Coleman, not able to go down. And they're gonna call Duluth East ball. On that last transition, you had Stafford, Jack Coleman, and Quinton Coleman down 3-on-1. But the athletic ability that both teams possess, you know, unfortunately for Duluth East, it happened to be number 20. That was Michael Brush, a very athletic player for Osseo in his own right. There's a jumper by Coleman, swished it through. That one shacked.
But East is certainly showing that they have some outside shooting ability. Thiessen and Bloom, 45 and 21, also checked in for Osseo.
Hustler's shot, no good. Now coming out with it. Now Quinton to Shaq Coleman. Coleman to Coleman here. A nice ball movement there, good ball fake. Lochner to Stafford, thought about it, now he's gonna drive, put it up. Again, another basket! And that's gonna force Osseo to take a timeout at 19-10.
I'd say that's a good time for a timeout, Coach.
And you gotta look though, Osseo, or Duluth East, really not playing scared, you know. Like some teams, they come in, they see they're playing a number 4 ranked team, you know, in their rankings, you know, a top 5 team in the state in their own right, and they get a little scared.
Right. You know, it's sometimes, you know, you have that traveling, you have to stay overnight at the hotel. You might get a little wide-eyed, but no, you got to. With these, you have a couple of veterans with Woodard and Stafford, and they've played an awful lot of basketball, and they're here to play, and you know, I think they're also. Maybe even more a little bit inspired because of the loss of the ineligibility of their teammate. And again, they are not showing fear to this Osseo team.
And just about that, we're not going to really go into details on that. We're just going to say that he's been declared ineligible for now, and that's how we're going to leave it to those of you that are wondering. We're not going to get into that on the air here. (19-10) here with Duluth East and Osseo. Both of these teams, though, another thing that really helps Duluth East even is, you know, you talk about Woodard and Stafford and that leadership, but some of these guys were here last year also on this team, so they've been here before at the state tournament.
Right. Yeah, this isn't their first time on this floor.
Nice drive there, up, no good. That shot by 23.
Say the same about Osseo as well, though. They were here last year. So what we have is a couple of 4A. This is a big school basketball game is what this is.
Exactly, 21-10 now on a shot by Woodard.
And East, their shooting percentage is going up slowly as this game is progressing.
Ebert jump shot good also, so right back. Now they're trading baskets. Stafford going to take it up now, looking to get it up over that Timberwolves logo at center court. Once again, we'd like to remind you, this is the boys basketball state tournament quarterfinals from Target Center here, celebrating 100 years of high school basketball tournaments in Minnesota. There's Coleman, there's a 3. In and out, and Tyson gets the rebound. Now working it around here, they go to Ebert. Ebert with it, looking it around. There's a jumper, no good. And rebound, and there's that advantage, and here comes Stafford with it. Up to Woodard. Drives, and no good, and a foul on Ian Tyson.
Last couple of shots he used to take, and they just kind of rattled in and out.
At halftime, I believe we have Mike Peden with an interview. If not, we will go through some of our favorite tournament memories. And the first one good. So the winner of this game gets Hopkins in the next round. Loser gets to go home for the year.
That's right. The winner gets Hopkins. Lucky them.
And the second one is good also, 23-12. Now with it is Tussler. Tussler gonna try to work it up and over. He does. Guarded heavily by Stafford. Good pressure there on the ball. Now with it is Brush. Or that's Will Johnson, number 30. Tussler looking to take off drive. Up and good. And now with it is Stafford. The one that he's a bit of the unknown factor for Osseo this year is Bridgeport Tussler. You know, everyone, worries about Ian Tyson and some of the other guys. But Bridgeport Tussler is silently having himself a great season this year. And there's a jumper by Lochner.
Well, I have talked quite a bit about Duluth East, but the Osseo lineup is very solid. They do have 4 players averaging double figures, and Michael Brush is very close. He's averaging 9 points a game as well. So this is a very, very balanced lineup.
You got to look though solidly, you gotta look 1 through about 8. Despite them not being able to put up as much numbers, wise, you gotta look 1 through 8. Both of these teams are pretty evenly matched, 1 through 8 in your lineups. Tussler's 3, no good.
Long rebound.
And then that's the one thing too here at the state tournament is, you get in foul trouble, how much depth do you have on your roster? Nice move by Woodard, but no good. Tussler, drive in, no good. Rebound comes out to Tussler, puts it up and in. And coming out with it now, Stafford. 25-16, Greyhounds on top of the Orioles. And he gets it stolen away, no! Innocent last touch by Duluth East. So back into the game now, number 20, Michael Brush, and number 11, Benji Sabah.
Talking about depth, so far East has only made 1 substitution. I would suspect that they probably are a little thinner on the bench right now.
Yep, and with that though, you also got to look. If you get in foul trouble, how is that going to play in to either team? Really, how is foul trouble going to play in to the end of this game if you get in that situation? But, both teams, 3 fouls each. Both teams, from what I've seen so far in this game, have been really smart and haven't really committed that quote-unquote and so-called dumb foul.
Right. I would agree with that.
And those kind of dumb fouls you talk about is when, you're at 6 fouls and you have a guy all the way down on the opposite end of his basket and you foul him and he goes down and makes a free throw. That's, coaches will call those dumb fouls, just little things like that. As Tyson's ball gets jammed in between, so that'll be jump ball. Possession arrow goes to Duluth East.
Duluth catching a little break there.
I don't think in all my years of broadcast, I've been broadcasting games for 7 years now, I've never seen that happen as much as I've seen this year. There's Coleman. And now coming back with it now is Osseo. Good move there by Hibbert. Up and in.
It's hard to defend that. That was a very good move. Coleman had him stopped to the baseline.
And he just took off and floated in the air.
He just floated her in there.
And now here is Coleman to Woodard. Woodard, we know, can put it up from just about anywhere and make it.
Yeah, I was watching him during warm-ups, and he was out at the NBA line, beyond the NBA line, floating a few up there. They swished right in.
2:36 left to go here.
He certainly has the range. Uh-oh.
We encourage you to come on down here and watch some great high school basketball if you have nothing to do this weekend.
Well, our first game was exciting. We had a lot of folks here. It's not nearly as packed as our first show with Hopkins and Woodbury, but there's a lot of people here. The bands are here, a lot of students. A lot of activity. This is a good time.
Stafford loses it off to Woodard. He tried to get it, but it goes out of bounds.
And on the is it called the mezzanine level? Anyway, out in the lobby area, they have the 100-year anniversary of the Minnesota State boys basketball tournament, and there's a lot of video, a lot of uniforms, trophies. There's all kinds of stuff out there. You can spend a better part of an afternoon just hanging out there in the lobby.
The big man Tyson nails the three.
That's a big shot. 2 minutes left, getting the game closer to now, just down by 6.
Not too often do you see a 6'9", 6'11" center put up a three-point shot like that. There's a shot right back, no good. They can't control it, and Osseo comes away with it with number 11, that is Sabah. Sabah gets it off it, no good there. Brush gets the rebound. Down low to 30 Jets Johnson. Tyson up and in. And Osseo on a run.
Osseo's on a little bit of a roll here. You know, they didn't want to go into halftime being down by 10 or 12 points. I think East got a little tired here. Like I said, they've only made one substitution. It looks like they got a little sloppy, letting this lead get away from them. They're just up by 4.
And there's a jumper, no good. Duluth East has one non-starter into the game right now, and Quinton Coleman, he did not start the game. Other than that, it's been pretty much the starting 5 out there as he steps out of bounds, does Quinton Coleman.
Yeah, I think late in the half here, I think we're going to get some tired mistakes. I mean, if East can't make substitutions, I know these guys are in really good shape, but they need to come out. They need to come off the floor. They need to get a little bit of a rest.
And they're going to bring him back in, number 33, Joel Pastrano, in for Taylor Stafford. So there's a starter back into the game, but they take one off the floor also. Now with it, working around is Hibbert. Working around to Tyson. Tyson now in front of the Duluth East bench. No, they're going to say Osseo ball. I thought it went off of Tyson last.
Well, it certainly looked like he was the one juggling it.
But they're going to say to no avail, to the chagrin of those Duluth East coaches, off of you.
Provo just kind of shook his head at that one.
Looking to drive. Nice kick out to Tyson. Wide open 3. And no good, short. And there's Shaq Coleman with it with 10 seconds left now in the half. 27-23 in favor of Duluth East.
They're obviously going to try to take the last shot.
Woodard's 3, no good. That's going to do it. Score at halftime, Duluth East 27, Osseo 23. All right, we'll take a brief break here and come back with either an interview or some tournament memories. This is quarterfinal basketball.
For halftime of this Osseo Duluth East quarterfinal game, and I'm here with a couple of parents, one whose son was involved in that thrilling duel with Hopkins and Woodbury, and one whose son is playing right now. So we'll start with you, Elise Chambers. So how were you handling that game? Hopkins down 65-61, and they were close to being upset in the middle of their dynasty run.
I think all the parents around me were saying, this is the quietest you've ever been, because normally I'm not that quiet, but I barely could breathe during that game. It was a fun game.
Well, then we saw a little more action out of you. Siani took a hard foul to the floor, and you were cheering for him to get up and then just waving those pom-poms. So just were you concerned a bit, or what was your mind at that point?
No, actually, I was telling him to stay down to get his rest, because I knew he was really tired. So I was just saying, just stay down, and then see. So, yeah, so that.
And Siani Chambers just came on by. I think he wants more camera time.
No, I think actually he doesn't. He probably was just like, they're leaving, they're going back to school now. But I guess his brother's not going, so I don't know, yeah.
What does it mean for you to have your son compete in 4 state tournaments? I mean, this guy is used to showing up at Target Center every year.
It's really unbelievable, but I keep telling him that, it's a blessing as well, because most kids never have the opportunity to come, and he's had an opportunity to come 4 times, so just enjoy it, in every minute of it.
How has he grown as a player? Because he's played with the likes of Royce White, he's played with Marvin Singleton, Joe Coleman, who's at Minnesota right now. It's a lot of top players, a lot of D1 prospects. Of course, Siani won himself. How do you think that helped him grow as a varsity player?
I think it helped him a lot because he was able to, understand his role and just grow as a player and learn from them. They really helped him a lot. So it's just really, now it's his time to take over, and that's what he's doing, just from being able to be the leader and run the team. So now he has to do a little bit more to run the team.
Now, what do you think happens in the semifinal? Because whoever wins this game, they saw that Hopkins nearly got upset. You have to think whoever plays Hopkins is going to have a little more confidence, which I think is going to make for a very thrilling semifinal round tomorrow.
Well, with either one of these teams, it's going to be a revenge game because we beat them. We played them once already in the season, and we beat them. So this next game is going to be a revenge game.
And
they're going to want to win.
Not to cut you off, but one of those players hoping that her Osseo Orioles can get revenge is Ellen Stewart. She is the mother of DJ Hebert. Osseo placed third last year and senior this year, so I guess what's been the mood like knowing that this is his last time in basketball gear?
Well, it's always interesting because every game can be the last, and I think that's just been his mentality. Gives it all he can every game, and leaves it all on the floor because there may not be a tomorrow. Literally, may not be a tomorrow. So, with basketball not being his primary sport, this is it for him. So he wants to make a good run.
Duluth East came out to a big run in that first half. What do you think Osseo needs to do? How did DJ and maybe the rest of the team look? Because after the suspension to Duluth East top player yesterday, I'm not sure folks had Duluth East up on top at halftime.
Well, and I think that's the tricky thing because you prepare for a team at their greatness. And when you are preparing for a team when they're not at full capacity, sometimes that's even harder. And because other players step up, players you're not familiar with, there are other players that have traditionally been role players, they come in, step up, and you don't know how to prepare for them. So I think, what they're going to do and what Coach Tyson's going to do at halftime is just tell them, we got the flow of the game now, let's just stick it out.
Now, your son is going on a football scholarship and will be forever connected with this one right here. He's going to the University of Northern Iowa, where she attended college. So I don't know how long you two have known each other, but just what was the reaction when she found out that your son was going to UNI, and then when you discovered that she had went to that school?
Well, I think it's just the continuation of a friendship for about 17 years. We've known each other since our kids were infants and never really got a chance to play AAU ball together until they got to Pulley in high school. But, Elise and I go way back, and it's kind of funny the reaction we get from people with her being from Hopkins and me from Osseo. I sit on the Hopkins side when they're playing. She sits on the Osseo side when we're playing. So we don't care about what anybody else says because it's so much more than just the schools that they play for.
Now, you two already agree that you're going to be on different sides if Osseo wins tomorrow and the two schools line up against each other. What's going to happen? A friendship on hold, or what's going to happen there?
Oh, we'll be friends. I'll be really loud cheering against them, but we'll be friends. I'll be friendly in my yelling, but we'll still be friends. We'll make it happen. I've already said I'm gonna make signs and transpose her face on the Osseo jersey because she always wears blue. So I got a few tricks up my sleeve.
Elise, do you think you can match Ellen's decibel level?
Oh, she knows I'm louder than her. So that's not a problem. I got that under control.
Of course, the big topic this year, 100 years of state tournament basketball. You've obviously seen how your sons have fared, and I know you were involved with Minneapolis North before they became a dynasty and then played college ball at Minnesota for a little bit. I'm not quite sure on your story, but what have you seen change with high school basketball and the tournaments and the hype surrounding it over the years?
One of the things I've been really excited about with the Minnesota State High School League is that they are not afraid to try something new. Sometimes they get criticized for that, but I think it's always important that you should at least kind of think outside the box. When I was in high school at North, there was just the two systems, the A and AA, and that was the North High School White Bear Lake era. And there was just the two schools, and that was it. But then when they moved to the forward class and they went to the Sweet 16 and all those different times, I still think that it was all an opportunity for just to see what else is out there and what other opportunities kids can have. So I think that that's the biggest thing with the league is that they've allowed the flexibility to do things differently at a tournament level.
One of about you, Elise?
Well, I'm originally from Iowa, so I wasn't very familiar with the tournament until probably about 12 years ago, and I started watching it on TV. And I remember my first tournament was when Collett won, and he jumped up on the table and he was pumping his fist. So that was my first thing with the State High School League and the tournament. And then I started officiating, and my goal was always to get to the tournament to officiate, and I didn't make it because my kids were playing. And then being able to work the girls tournament has like kind of brought it full circle. So I really enjoy the tournament and the whole atmosphere of everything.
Why did your kids have to be so good? You could have officiated the big dance.
Yeah, I don't think I could have officiated because then all of their friends were playing. So it's just like they have friends on every single team. So just like they were playing against the Suggs brothers, they played with them in Pulley. You know, DJ, I've known, like Ellen said, we've known DJ since he was a baby, and like on this team, Johnny Woodward and Taylor Stafford, Siani played with those kids too. So they're all friends. That's the deal. So
Don't be confused. She was an excellent ref. She used to ref some of the girls' game when I was at Patrick Henry, so she could have done the big dance very well.
And of course we kid because your two sons have had much success here at the state basketball tournament. Guess what is it going to mean for whenever that happens to have their final game, in your case with Siani, in your case with DJ? What's going to be the mood like whenever that final game arrives?
I think that it'll be the end to his high school career because Siani is going to go on and play basketball. So it'll be the end. He'll be writing his next chapter. So it's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm not a crier, but I've kind of been weepy all week. So who knows?
What about you? Have you been tearing up? Or are you going to help her through it, or what's going to happen?
Oh, I'm a crybaby. I'm going to have tissue, everything. Whole roll of toilet paper. I'll be all right. It depends on, I think the mood initially will be on whether, how they place, if they win, lose, what have you. I think that initial reaction will be far different than the reaction after DJ has an opportunity to digest everything that's going on. But I've taught my kids, and I know Elise has too, is that you live your life without regrets and without saying, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda. And no matter what the outcome is, as long as they can be comfortable with that, then everything else is secondary.
Do me one favor, bring some extra tissue for Elise because Hopkins is going on at least one more game, or two more games actually. So.
Yep. I will. One of us will be crying tomorrow, so we'll figure out who gets the tissue.
We'll be there to support. We'll be supporting each other. It doesn't matter. Yep.
Opponents on the court, but always friends off the court. Elise Chambers and Ellen Stewart, thanks for speaking with us. I'm going to let you get back and watch the second half, but thanks for providing your insights, and good luck to both your sons as they complete this tournament run.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's send it back to John and Larry in the booth. You're watching the Minnesota State High School League Boys Basketball Tournament quarterfinals.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
All right, welcome back to Target Center here. The Duluth East Greyhounds 27-23 lead right now. And this is kind of the end of the high school winter sports season here. But no, there's not a better time on a calendar than when you flip over that calendar and it's March time. As March Madness ensues at colleges, small towns across the country, especially when it comes time to the Minnesota State High School League boys hot basketball tournament. Also, just a few weeks ago, we were at the boys hockey tournament. And the boys hockey tournament is another well-attended event also. So we're going to flip ends of the court now as Osseo and Duluth East will now be going towards their respective benches and student sections. So Osseo right to left, left to right, go the Greyhounds. Here is Bridgeport Tussler with it, working it around to Tyson. Tyson has it now, working it around, back now to Dunn, down low to Tussler. Takes up and in, but no good. Rebound out to Brush is good.
Well, it's always interesting to see how teams come out after a halftime or after a timeout. And the one thing I was wondering about with Osseo was if they were going to try and go after what I would call East weakness, and that would be to pound the ball inside a little bit more. So we'll see how it goes this half.
Coleman has it to Stafford. Stafford working it around now. Finds number 33. That's Walker. Or no, that's Palastron. Now with it, working it around. There's Shaq Coleman. Back to Stafford. Stafford tried to get it down low to Woodard, but to no avail. Both teams going to go back to their original starting five.
So some of the stats in the first half, Duluth East shot 37%, Osseo was 33%. They were 12 for 36, and East was 10 for 27. So they're both throwing up a lot of shots.
And, you know, most of the shots by both teams, not just East and not just Osseo, were good looks too, or good looks at shots, you know, wide open threes, you know, trying to take advantage down low. You know, there was no real forced or rushed shots by either team in that first half.
East held a slight edge on rebounds, 22-19. They have a few more turnovers than Osseo. They're wiping up a little mess on the floor.
You know,
Taylor Stafford, he was the leading scorer for East in the first half with 9 points. And Ian Thiessen for Osseo, he had 7. A balanced scoring for Osseo.
If you got to look though, also Stafford led all scorers there with 9 points in that first half.
2 for 2 from 3-point range.
Woodard's long range too. This time, no good on the friendly bounce here on the semi-loose target center rims. Now with it is Tussler. Tussler going to take off drive. He loses it out of bounds off of Tussler's knee. Ball goes over to the Greyhounds.
Nobody wants to retrieve the ball.
Well contested game here so far between these two teams. Coming out with it here now is number 11, Stafford, working it around the Coleman. Going down low, Stafford bumped and gets the basket to fall. Now with it, goes the other way, count it and one for Osseo. Hebert got the basket. Well, was wondering why is it a foul on the other end, you say. Here comes the free throw, make it a 1-point game. He got it. 29-28, East on top here, 16:26 left. Stafford has it. Working it around now, Stafford. To Lochner, back to Stafford. To Coleman, down low to Woodard. Now with it, Stafford. You can hear the student sections going back and forth. Coleman. Working it around. Now working it around. Jumper, no good. Rebound comes out and controlled by Osseo as the ball goes out of bounds off of the Greyhounds. $15:35 left to go, 29-28. It is the Osseo Orioles and the Duluth East Greyhounds Class 4A State Boys Tournament quarterfinals. Down low, off, no good. Comes out control, goes Jeff Ball. Tie-up goes to Duluth East.
Yeah, that extra dribble, it got him into position to put the shot up, but it also gave East time to surround him on defense.
And now taking it up here is Taylor Stafford. Coming into the game, averaging 23.1 points per game. Johnny Woodard, 23.3. Now there's Woodard down low, goes to Lochner. He got fouled. He'll go to the line.
Strong post-up move by Lochner.
Swish right through. Second one, no good. Comes out in control. You got to look here, a fairly, with the stats we got provided in the media guides, the free throws could come back. It could come down to that, and you're looking at a very solid free throw shooting team. As there's a three by Abear, and that's a 1-point lead for the Orioles. Woodard to respond right back, no good, off front iron and out. So Tussler comes away with it to Abear. Down low to Fresh up and in. Earnsville Johnson took that 30. Timeout, Greyhound.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time, Coach. Well, I have to say, Woodard made a smart play down there. He missed a shot, and he came down and he did not commit a foul. His athletic ability allows him to hang in the air pretty long. He was shooting that. He was taking that shot on the way down, and he basically hit a line drive, and that kind of a shot can frustrate a guy. And then when he raced down to the other end of the court on defense, he played solid defense. That they did score the basket, but more power to him. He did not commit a foul, which is really easy for a guy with that kind of athletic ability to try and block every single shot that's in front of him.
And that would be, good recognition there. That is, to some coaches, not all coaches, would consider taking a shot like that and then going down and committing a foul, one of those stupid fouls. But you got to look here. Both teams playing very solid, very smart. Not committing fouls unless they're like going up for a layup or something. Instead of giving them a free 2 points, they're kind of making them earn it also.
And Osseo's their shooting percentage has gone up, oddly enough, along with the fact that they just took over the lead. They're shooting nearly 40% now.
So Osseo out of the Northwest Suburban here, and Duluth East out of the Independent Conference.
That's right, I forget that Duluth East is an independent school up there.
Section 5 meets Section 7. Working it around now, Coleman to Woodard. There's Stafford. Stafford looking to drive, kick out to Coleman. Good pressure applied by Tussler. Now there's Stafford looking to drive. Bad pass there and picked off by Tussler. No good. Rebound comes out and controlled. Wide open, Tussler up and in.
Well, East just was completely out of place on that one.
Now working it around is Shaq Coleman to Stafford. Out in front of the media outlets right there on your far side. The near side, here are the benches. Trying to go down low to Lochner. He travels first. And 11, that is Benji Spa into the game again.
East is basically maintained with their starters all the way through so far.
And how much will that wear on them down the stretch? We'll find out as Sabah guarded by Stafford. Now with it, that's number 20. That is Brush. Down low they go. Right back, no good. Comes out with it. Does Brush though, working it around there. Sabah. Sabah now working it out at that Timberwolf logo. Brush pump fake. There's Tyson now. Out to Johnson. Working it around there, Sabah. Tyson cuts baseline, and they're going to call a foul on number 33 of the Greyhounds.
And I think all he really did was just fall on the floor.
Palestrano. Called for the foul now. Working it around here. Osseo has good ball moving now. Nice move up and no good. Wow, and it's going to be Greyhound basketball. (35-30) right now.
It's a little early for East to get nervous. They can still maintain some ball control here.
Here comes Osseo with it. Up and in for Aber.
Or they could just have a turnover instead.
Stafford, nothing there. Lochner, got it! Aber just a little shook off. Now he's back in play though. There's Sabah. Working it around. Tyson, no good. Rebound out by Lochner, gets it to Stafford. Coleman, no. Rebound. And
that's the hazard of putting that ball on the floor in the lane.
Coach Tyson telling his team to slow down.
Quentin Coleman for East is getting ready to check back in.
No good, comes out here. Shaq Coleman has to get bumped by his own teammate. Almost lost control of the ball. 5-point lead here for Osseo.
And another good no call by the ref.
After working it out to Stafford. There's Stafford from Woodard. Stafford takes that three, no good. And out comes the Orioles in the orange uniform. Blocked. They're not going to call a block or a charge on that. So 22. Ichaba in, and it is going to be Quinton Coleman in for Duluth East. Highly competitive game here. And now kick out. There's a three, and got it! Timeout, Osseo.
Well, I was just going to say that Quentin Coleman looks like he's coming in for adding speed on the defense, but he did not stick with not knowing what his assignment was. They left, and I missed who that.
Michael Brush was wide open.
Left Brush open on the for that three.
And you know that's the one thing that you're going to have to look at. You know you can't leave players, especially at. You know, they've gotten this far in the tournament play, you know, go through sections. They've proven themselves able to make key shots. You can't, I can't stress that enough. Leave players wide open at this high level of competition. If you leave them open 3 times, they're bound and determined to make at least one.
Right now, the biggest number on the stat sheet that's kind of jumping out at me is the turnovers. East through this at this point in the game has 9. Osseo's only committed 3.
For news and information about the league, search for MSHSL on
All right, teams coming out of the timeouts here. So kind of the breakdown here, the semifinals and championship games of all classes will be here at Target Center. And if you get to that 3rd place game, that'll be held at the Gagelhoff Center in Concordia, St. Paul, on the campus there of Concordia University, St. Paul, home of the Golden Bears.
I spent the last Saturday afternoon with all the 3rd place games at Gagelhoff, and it's a nice facility. It's an intimate venue. The fans are right there on the floor, and when the room is packed, it's a great atmosphere.
And Stafford has it out here. There's Quinton Coleman. And he can't get the pass away, and it's stolen away by the Orioles. And a turnover this time. Shot no good. Osseo touched it, but he was out of bounds, they're going to say.
Well, and again, they're only 8 points down. Duluth East, no need for them to panic. They certainly have the firepower to compete with this Osseo team. But they need to get some better possessions now going down the court.
Pestrino, Lochner, Coleman, Woodard, and Stafford out there. Your starting 5 back out on the floor now for Duluth East Greyhounds.
Yeah, East has only gone one player deep now on their bench.
And Woodard, nothing there. Lochner back to Woodard. To Stafford. And he can't get the pass away. Tight pressure applied by the Orioles. Now Tyson working it around. Now there's Hebert. To Brush. There's Sabah to Brush. Now with it, 22. That is Chichiba. Nice ball fake by Brush and swishes it. 42-32. Osceo's largest lead of the game is 10. Timeout taken by the Greyhounds now.
Yeah, I was watching Woodard battle with Tyson underneath the basket, and that's going to take a lot of energy out of both players as this game wears on.
All right, 30-second timeout taken. So quickly, Larry, some of your memories. You know, you said you were a Central.
Well, yeah, I went
to, so some of the state tournament memories of you growing up and seeing it, being here, maybe, you know, watching them on TV, growing up, playing sport, whatever.
Well, coming from Duluth, especially in the Central area, we on the hillside, we had a very close relationship with that high school team, and most of us kids that as we grew up on the hillside, we envisioned ourselves being a Central Trojan and going to state tournaments. And like I said, in 1971, we followed our team down here, Duluth Central. They took the AA championship, and then they played Melrose, and Mark Oberding is a 9th grader for the single A 2A championship, and of course Duluth Central was victorious in that game.
All right, so Stafford to Woodard. Now back to Stafford, open, there's Coleman, he's gonna take off. Put a block though. Stafford thought about it, now he's double teamed momentarily. Now Stafford has it. And they're gonna call a bump on Osseo. You know, that's kind of similar situation for me. Like I said, my fond memories coming out into this court 3 times and picking up 3 wins wearing a good old purple and gold of Chaska High School. That year we came in, I think we finished something like 30, seemed like 37-2, something like that. You know, we only had 2 losses. One was to Burnsville, the other was, for that time, it still is, Power. And a basket up and in by Stafford to Hopkins.
Well, it seems like everybody has a loss to Hopkins on their roster sometime during their careers.
But I will still say the best memory of that year, though, was section championship game, beating Hopkins to go to state also.
That would be a highlight. No, up in Duluth, East being on the other side of town, they were the main rival of Duluth Central. You just saw Johnny Woodard hit a long, nearly an NBA 3.
And you know, back and forth they go again.
And those Central East teams put on some pretty good battles, put on some pretty good shows, sold out the UMD Fieldhouse a number of years. Both teams have had a number of state tournament appearances.
Now.
East 13 in total.
No good. And there's a put back and in. Osseo slowly started to take control of this game. There's Woodard. He draws the foul on Ian Tyson.
Woodard can fly.
No foul trouble there. Tyson with 2. You need 5 to foul out. Here's Woodard. And no good. Much like the other last unseeded team, you know, Woodbury struggled with free throw shooting, and you know, right now Duluth East is also.
Well, it's amazing how those simple things will win some ball games for you in the grand scheme of things. So making your free throws, finishing up those layups, that ball control.
Osseo,
He did make the second one, though.
Yes, he did. Osseo students chatting to Johnny Woodard. How old are you? And there's a three on the way and got it! That was number 21 of Osseo by Al Bloom. Foul called on Osseo. Bridgeport Tussler called for the foul.
There's been a lot of articles in both papers, both sides of the river, Star Tribune, Pioneer Press, both expressing an awful lot of interest in the 100 years of basketball. Pioneer Press had a list of the top 100 tournament players. East had 2 players make it on that 100 all-time list, as well as Duluth Central.
And you gotta think there. Shot no good. There's Lochner to Woodard now to. There's Shaq Coleman making a nifty move up and in.
Very nice move by Coleman.
But you still gotta think, some of the top players, regardless, boys or girls, you gotta say one of your top 3, former Minneapolis South guard, Taylor Hill's gotta be among the top 3, regardless of gender, of top high school girls or boys basketball tournament players. Look again.
If you throw gender aside, there would definitely the top girls certainly could be making that list. Taylor Hill, Angel Robinson, Janet Carvin, and those names would be could easily infiltrate a boys list.
And you got to look though, Taylor Hill record this year, all-time career scoring record, well over 3,000 career points, got broken and shattered by Bram Jr. Rebecca Dahlman. And that's, she's one of the leading scorers regardless of gender in the state for her career. And her record just got broken by a junior this year.
Well, she also had 2 state records that fell during the 3rd place game over at Gangelhoff. The 3-game total by an individual and the single game total by an individual, both records that Taylor Hill owned or shared.
Yeah, and you got to look.
I was lucky enough to call that game with Tony Gear.
And that's only that's a sophomore from New Richland doing that also.
We got
Carly Wagner.
There's
Woodard comes down awkwardly, almost threw that one down.
Woodard was going to make a statement, and Osseo wasn't going to let him. Nine-point lead for Osseo as Woodard goes to the line. He went down pretty hard.
It's good to see, though, that he's able to get out from that and be able to make these free throws, or at least have a chance to make both of these free throws here. And first one is good.
East coach Chuck Dolo is having a conversation with the ref. He threw his hands in the air. He wasn't sure he liked how that conversation went.
I wonder if he was asking for an intentional foul or a flagrant foul beat. He was already up over the rim, and the guy didn't even make a play for the ball.
Well, that's if we had an instant replay here, we'd be able to watch that again and have a closer look at the situation.
But I'm wondering if that's what he was trying to get,
I would
see.
I would imagine that's exactly what he wanted.
And Tyson's jumper no good. Rebound comes out. Will Johnson's blocked. Here comes Woodard, 3-on-1. No kickball there off of Osseo, and it's going to be Duluth East ball. And this is the one advantage I think Duluth East has to capitalize on. Maybe I'm wrong. They have the speed to transition over Osseo.
Well, I would think so. If they can get some rebounds, get some outlets to Woodard, to get Stafford and Woodard running the floor, and Shaq Coleman, they could get this lead down to nothing in no time.
Woodard loses his footing, keeps possession on the ball. Lochner loses it out of bounds though. And we've seen that a couple of times already, like 3 or 4 times in this game. That 3-on-1, 4-on-1 going Duluth East way, but they just haven't been able to capitalize.
Again, the East coach is questioning the call. I think at this point in the game, though, it's under 5 minutes. At some point in time, the players and the coaches have to get over the fact that the referees are on the floor and just keep playing this game.
There's Coleman, he gets bumped. No good, they're gonna call it on the floor, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. They're in the bonus though, so 1-1 coming up for Duluth East. What that means,
this could be an advantage for East since they are in the bonus, and so far East only has 3 fouls called.
they have 3 more fouls to give before they send Osseo to the line. To the line is number 12, Shaq Coleman. No good. Tyson with the rebound. Out now is Sabah. 42-49, Orioles lead with 4:30 left to go. Thank you for joining us here, grandstadium.tv, prep45.com. Controlling it out now is the Osseo Orioles. Now there's Sabah. Sabah has it now, working time off the clock, gets it down to under 4 minutes. Stafford can't quite get to it. Good hustle play though by Stafford. There's a 3. No, they're gonna call it a 2. 51-42. Here comes Stafford. He drives and gets it right back though.
That was Haybear's 16th point for Osseo.
Haybear really lighting it up. After him though, pretty balanced. Sabah can't get it to go. But we got a foul on Osseo. Will Johnson in foul trouble here now for Osseo. Here's 22 for Duluth East. Chase. Dominguez, so they've gone to their second bench player now as Duluth East with number 22.
Looks like they're tending to Woodard.
Looks like he might have got a little blood on him or something. So he has to come off the floor. They have to make a sub in for him or take a timeout. And Duluth East will take a timeout.
They'll burn a timeout, I think. They're going to keep him on the floor.
And it'll be a full timeout. But some of the non-playing memories, like I said, was watching, Zach Gabbard come out here, with his, problems he had last year, passing out, having I believe they said it was a heart attack or whatever during the game, and being able to see him come back and cheer on his team like that, at the state tournament, get acknowledged as being part of that roster. Blake Hoffbarber's drum shot to send that game into overtime and eventually see Hopkins go on to win. That was another great tournament memory. Just those type of games those type of shots make this such a great high school tournament.
Well, for me, going back to that 71 tournament, not to keep beating an old drum, but it was a magic moment for us. Again, I was just in the 6th grade. My team was winning a state championship, and then my hero, Paul Taylor, who was a junior guard on that team, he had a perfect game for Duluth Central. He shot 9 for 9 from the field. Now I also come back down again in 77 following my team, and that 77 Duluth team was loaded with guards. They were a fast team. They ended up losing in the championship game to Prior Lake, But that team had a player by the name of Greg Downing, who eventually went on to be Mr. Basketball, co-Mr. Basketball with Randy Brewer. He was on the St. Paul Pioneer Press Top 100. He made it at number 45 as the 45th best basketball player for the state tournament history.
That one good. And second one no good though. All right, back to it here. Tussler working it around now to 30. That's Johnson. Tyson muscling his way up and in. And that is going to be 2 shots.
Well, East keeps getting to the line. I get a little worried about some of these players trying to take over the game and not letting the rest of their teammates get involved.
And you got to look here. You look at some of the.
Where's Woodard? Did they take him off? Oh, there he is. I'm sorry.
Woodard's coming back into the game.
He's going back. I thought I couldn't find him on the floor down there.
You know, some of the, you're looking here at some of the state tournament games, you know, quarters, you know, stuff like that in the old days as he made both of those, making it 47-52. At one point, the high school leagues teams all played quarters instead of halves also.
Well, I grew up playing quarters. We played quarters back in the 70s. Before the three-point line, before you could dunk.
Tussler has it. He gets pressured. Sabah has it now. And you talk about that in a carry call and a turnover.
That was a very good call.
And you talk about that Duluth Central guy. Sadly, he will never make the state tournament record book for best field goal percentage because they define that as having to have to take a minimum of 10 shots. He went 9 for 9.
They changed that then. He had been in the record. They had him in the record books for quite a while.
He still may be in the record, like we said, you know, but you know they have acknowledged now for a single game, your best field goal percentage of 1,000 has to be a minimum of 10 shots, and it was set by John Wilson of St. Anthony Village in 1984, and by Aaron Ford of Apple Valley. In 2007, Wilson went 10 for 10 and Ford went 11 for 11 in that game. Here comes Sabah with 2:20 left to go. Oh, near steal there by Coleman. Trying to foul now. I don't know why you're trying to foul so early.
Well, I think they have some fouls to give. They're trying to keep that clock from ticking down.
And you did speak about Randy Brewer. He still does hold the team, or the individual points with 113 and most field goals with 50, both tournament records.
Yeah, Randy Brewer was Mr. Basketball with Duluth Central's Greg Downing in 1979.
And coming back to play now, Tussler has it. He's looking to drive. Spin move, he spun himself well under the basket.
If East would have been good just to let that one go. Unfortunately, they blocked a meaningless shot out of bounds.
And some modern day popular names to be familiar with. Cody Schilling and Aaron Vanderstoop, both of the powerful Ellsworth stable of basketball.
Ellsworth.
And a timeout taken by Osseo.
Osseo takes a 30-second timeout.
So don't forget, coming up next, we have Lakeville North and Moorhead. So,
well, the scoring is coming up here with Taylor Stafford. He's leading East with 17. Johnny Woodard's got 12 points. DJ Hebert is 16 for Osseo, and then there's a balanced scoring after that. Everybody's chipped in. Ian Thyssen, Bridge Hustler, and Michael Brush all contributing to the points of this game.
and you got to look here, how much is that going to, with the balanced scoring of Osseo, if they need to do that key shot down the stretch, and Hebert and Tyson are guarded, who's going to take that for you? Tussler can do it,
He's trying to put on pressure, deny the ball in.
There's Tussler. They're going to call 1-and-1 on Stafford.
It was an aggressive play on both players.
They barely, maybe. Obviously not being able to see replays might have got away with a little separation there, but. Tussler's first one good.
Shot.
54-47 now. Second one, no good. Woodard out to Stafford. Stafford now going to take it up and over, look to try to create some transition. Long three, no, short.
That was about 3 feet beyond the NBA line.
Yes, it was, and a long, just short too.
And it was just short.
That would have notched the intensity up in this game just a little bit. There's Tussler. Kick out. Back to Tussler. He thought about it. Now he's a takeoff drive. Put it up. No good. No, he got the friendly roll afterwards.
Well, Osseo's got East kind of chasing around now. East is probably going to try to knock down some threes.
And we saw from the start of the game, though, you live and die by that, but Duluth East was really on fire shooting early in the game.
Well, they were on fire early, and they finished the game. Well, it's not quite over yet, but they finished the game 3 for 10 from three-point range, so they did not make any in the second half, I don't believe, or maybe they just have one in the second half. Osseo's 4 for 12 from three-point range. Also doing a little bit better on the field goal percentage.
Here comes the free throw. Good by Savant.
For the most part, there's balance all the way around. It's that turnovers at 12-6. Duluth East leads in turnovers, and that's not a number you want to be leading in at the end of the game.
Absolutely not. There's the second one good also. 11-point lead. With 1 minute left to go.
1 minute.
Three, Coleman, got it! 55.6 left. Here, and that's going to send the Orioles to the line.
Matt Lochner reaching over the top for that fall.
A 1-and-1 situation here. And he misses! Stafford gets it out to Coleman. Coleman's gonna take it up. There's Stafford now. He loses it. Coleman! Foul on Tyson, his third.
Well, I know they're trying to get some shots up there, but they'll take a clock stopping and a couple of free throws. 34 seconds, 8 points down. With the three-point play with athletes like East has, anything can happen yet.
comes Bowman's second, good. 51-58, 7-point lead. And a foul called on Stafford. And the first one is good. And it's good. 9-point lead. Stafford, three, no. Rebound comes out, Tyson, he gets bumped, stolen away. He was out of bounds. Osseo ball with 22 seconds left.
Well, there's not much left East can do here. I mean, they gave it a good try. Those two kids, Stafford and Woodard, I mean, they certainly should have showed their range. It's too bad we don't get to see them play one more game yet while they're down here.
Timeout. All right, 60-51 now, a 9-point lead. Well, that's just about gonna do it here for this game. So it's gonna be Osseo versus Hopkins in one Class 4A state semifinal. There's 4 teams competing for 2 more spots in the Class 4A field. Once again, one of those is going to be Lakeville North and Moorhead. And then the nightcap for Class 4A anyways will be Eden Prairie and Eastview. Speaking of Eastview, they defeated Tyus Jones and a very strong Apple Valley team, their crosstown rival, in the section championship game. You know, that crosstown rivalry going back north-south, you know, of Lakeville, and then you got Eastview and Apple Valley. 2 of the best crosstown metro school rivalry games you can go to at Lakeville North and Lakeville South and Eastview Apple Valley. Those gyms are packed every game those 2 teams play.
I think when I moved down here in '89, I don't believe any of those names existed.
The Lakeville North fans starting to encroach on the Osseo student section.
It's always fun watching the transition. Campino trying to find the best seat in the house.
There's Woodard. No. You know it's going to be an end to 2. And they won't get Moorhead though. Osseo and a dunk by Tyson. You know, Osseo fans chanting out, we want Moorhead, but they're not going to get it. And Sabah. And that's going to put an end to the Duluth East season. You got to though say for Duluth East, though, they put up a hell of a fight when they could. And it's going to be an end of 2 great careers for the Greyhounds in Johnny Woodard and Taylor Stafford.
Well, you know, East, they did. They came out and played very hard. They actually had a lead. They had a lead in the first half by 11. But they just couldn't overtake Osseo. I think East, they obviously were a little bit short on their bench. They're only playing 6-7 players deep, and you know, the turnovers were a factor, and then their 3-point shooting just kind of went cold for them that second half.
All right, Larry, let's get your final thoughts here on, like I said, the end of 2 Duluth East careers, as you know, you're from that area of
Well, you know,
Taylor Stafford and Johnny Woodard?
I don't have their stats in front of me, but I know both of those players have had great careers up at East. East has put out some very good basketball players. Names like Rick Rickard, Doug Moe, and I think when those guys, when it's all said and done, those two guys are going to be remembered just like Rickard and Moe are in the history of East. And I don't know where they're heading to school, but I'm sure they've got a career ahead of them. Both of them are just fine players representing Duluth East and Duluth very well.
All right, and here's a quick deal for Osseo. They're going to have to face Hopkins next, and they're going to have a big hill ahead of them to conquer with the Hopkins Royals. All right, John Sands with
Larry Lodmill.
And for the rest of us here at Target Center, good night, everybody.